Okay, just thought I'd better ask. Let's move on to the Queensland election. What are the ramifications for the federal election just months away? I mean, is this a pretty strong warning now for Anthony Albanese?
Oh, it is, and while they're trying to say this is all about the Greens, it's actually about Labor as well. This is a routing. You can't sugarcoat it any other way. To win 12 seats to get a majority in a 93-seat parliament is a big change, but then probably to end up with 16, 17, maybe 18 seats, that's a routing. And, you know, now the gratuitous advice to Anthony Albanese is to do exactly what Stephen Miles did, which was effectively have a closing down sale and give everything away, free lunches, 50-cent fares. Ultimately, someone's got to pay for that because your money runs out and you've got to raise more to keep it going. And if that's the business model that Labor has reverted to now, is simply have a closing down sale, Australia will be worse for it. And in fact, that's why your interest rates are staying higher longer, because of the giveaways that they've given. They've spent $6.5 billion in trying to get your energy bill down to live up to that $275 promise of a reduction. And not fix the fundamentals. You don't have to spend Australian taxpayers' money to solve the nation's problems. And that's unfortunately just repeating the mistakes of what Queensland's doing. They're telling Anthony Albanese, give it all away and get re-elected. Worry about it later.
I mean, for the Greens, the night was a bit of a shocker, boasting about sweeping 10 seats, but didn't, making them potentially a bit of a target at the next election as well. David Crisafulli, though, says that he's getting to work to deliver on these key promises. I mean, can he do it? What are the key issues for you? What do you perceive as the key issue for him, I guess, moving forward now?
Yeah, and look, it was a bad night for the Greens because they're seen not as a political party but as extremists. You've got their leader won't stand in front of the Australian flag. They'd rather stand with the CFMEU, and they're trying to cause trouble around the Israeli-Palestinian, bringing that hate here to Australia. But David Crisafulli now has a clear mandate. And in Queensland, we have a unicameral parliamentary system. We only got one House of Parliament. So he has that mandate, and that was why it was important to get that clear majority. He now can get on with the job. And I think he showed the courage of his own conviction during that campaign, where he said if he doesn't fix law and order in 4 years, then he won't be there. And I think that shows courage that he's going to use that mandate. He's going to get on with the delivery of what he promised. And I think ultimately, whether it be in Queensland or right across this country, that's what the Australian people want from their politicians. They're going to look you in the eye, tell you what they're going to do, and they get on and do it. And I think we need to rebuild that trust with the electorate. And I think that David Crisafulli has a real opportunity here to hit the ground running and to get on with the job. But law and order is the first and foremost priority in Queensland. Queenslanders are even frightened in their own home.
David, we do have to wrap things up, but I need to get your thoughts on this. 3G switching off today. Is there enough government and telco investment in keeping regional Aussies connected?
No, there's not, and it's been abandoned since Labor got in. We built over 1,500 new mobile phone towers, and this government's done nothing apart from a few in their own Labor seats. We need to have significant investment. I'm concerned about the fact that what might happen after this 3G, it has to happen, make no mistake, and people have been warned long enough. But I hope that the promise that Telstra and Optus have given me is that this will give better coverage under our 4 and 5G networks comes to fruition. Because if it doesn't, there's going to be a pretty large number of upset regional Australians out there and peri-urban. This isn't just for rural and remote. I'm going to tell you, Telstra has been this virus that has spread across the country from regional Australia now into peri-urban areas where they've failed to invest after we've given them those mobile phones. You, the Australian taxpayer, we need to have some sort of regulatory guide rails to make sure they're investing in maintaining those towers and that they're upgraded. And I think that's one of the big things that this government's failed to do, and I think we should look at after the next election if we're given the honour to lead the country.
I was a bit worried about my 99-year-old pop in Tasmania who's got an old school flip phone. I'm a bit worried about him today. I must check in and see if it's still working today. David Littleproud, thank you for your time.